Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to mill with the Neotec 8120 Husqvarna 3120 clone. You all know by now what this saw is. It's the biggest saw Husqvarna makes. It's a clone of that, 120 cc's. In my mind, this is where this saw should shine. So I'm hoping to show you guys a budget-friendly mill setup that most people could afford to get into milling. Chainsaw milling is not the greatest way to mill lumber, but it is doable and people have been doing it for years. Hopefully I'm going to show you two different styles of chainsaw mills. The one that I have on there, I believe, is called a beam maker, and it's a pretty simple setup. I'll show that to you guys here close up in a second. The other one is I'm going to show you an Alaskan chainsaw mill style that's made by Neotec. They also sell chainsaw mills. So you could literally go to Neotec and buy a chainsaw, buy a mill, and be milling your own lumber for well under $1,000, probably under $8,000 with this setup, with the biggest saw they make. Now you could buy a smaller saw and get away with that and spend even less, but I'm looking for the most powerful, economical way to mill, and I believe this is the setup. Log is sugar maple. It's very heavy. My tractor struggles picking this thing up. I did a video of dragging this thing out of the woods, I believe last year, if you guys want to go check that out. If I can remember, I'll put a link up above. It was a pretty interesting video. This thing was kind of in a tough spot to get, and I wanted to bring it back in biggest pieces possible with the equipment I had. So this log here is 9 feet long. It's 24 inches on the small end diameter, 27 inches on the big end diameter. It is too big for my mill. I can't remember what the specs are on my wood miser, but this is bigger than the capacity. What I could do, and I might do this, I think the strategy for this log is I'm going to mill it flat on 3 sides with the beam maker. We'll leave one live edge, and then I think I'm going to take the Alaskan chainsaw mill clone and maybe do a slab or two just to give you guys an idea of what you can do. Then I'll leave the rest of the log for the mill. I'll put it on the mill, probably not in this video, but I'll put it on the mill and finish it up with that. But you could do this whole thing with this setup right here if you wanted to spend the time. This is a slow process, but it is possible. One more thing before I get started on this video. Well, two more. Let's talk about the chainsaw. Again, it's an 8120, 120 cc Husqvarna clone chainsaw. It does have a 36-inch Husqvarna bar on it, and the chain I'm using is just regular cross-cut chain. I did not buy a ripping chain for this yet. I don't know if I will. You may get better results with a ripping chain. I don't know. I've done a little bit of chainsaw milling, and I've used just regular chains, and it seems to work fine. The other thing I wanted to say is please excuse the audio. Hopefully this is coming through. Once again, my wireless mics are not working. You know, it is what it is, guys. I'm not throwing any more money into this YouTube channel until something starts giving back. For now, we're just going to make videos for fun. That's all we can do. But I'll get the microphones fixed, hopefully, and then we can have those in another video. All right, enough rambling. Let's cut. slab is off. Overall successful. It wasn't bad. There's definitely some technique that I was trying to figure out, like what worked best, but I wanted to be above the saw, and this log is so big I couldn't do that. So let me get this flipped. I mean, I really could just go to the Alaskan mill right now and slab off slabs with that. Let me get this flipped and do some measurements. We might just go straight to the Alaskan mill and make regular slabs. The beam maker works, but that's, I don't know. It's not bad. It's not as easy as an Alaskan mill though, because you're really maneuvering that chainsaw. The chainsaw doesn't care that we're milling with it, just so you guys know. It's just cutting. As hard as you can push that blade, it just cuts. So I am happy with that. So let me get this flipped around and then we'll come up with a game plan. guys, that's gonna wrap it up. That's about all I got time to do today. I got 2 slabs off. You know, chainsaw milling is not a fast process, but you can get some lumber made with a chainsaw mill. We got 2 very nice live edge curly maple slabs. The camera doesn't do it justice. You really can't see the figure in this wood unless you're here. It's gorgeous. So I'm not sure what we'll do with this stuff yet, but for now we're going to sticker it and let it dry. I need a better pallet. I need to build some open face pallets for these things. Get them stored in a dry place and let them air dry for a while. Well, the chickens came over to help me clean up this sawdust, hopefully. But that's pretty much it. I really just wanted to test the saw out more than anything. At this point, I might go ahead and take this cant, we'll call it a cant now since it's been cut on. I might just take this cant and throw it on the sawmill, finish it up over there. It's a much quicker process. I think it's small enough now it'll fit on the sawmill. And then I do have another log that I'll have to do a similar process to. Take a slab off the side and cut it down and put it on the mill as well. Although it has a lot more rod in it than I remember, and I don't know what we'll even get out of that. So nevertheless, there's always something here to do, cut, or reasons to play with chainsaws and sawmills. That's going to wrap up my series of videos for now on this 8120. It is more than exceeded my expectations with a few minor issues. I will do a video here soon where I go over all those issues that I've run into. Might even pull the cylinder off, take a look at the cylinder after it's, you know, had several tanks of fuel through it, see what the cylinder looks like, and give you guys my final thoughts. If you don't want to wait till that video, this is what I'm gonna tell you. If you're mechanically inclined and you're not bothered by a few inconveniences that may cost you some time, so far I haven't had to spend a dime on any parts, but I have lost some time fiddling with things that have gone wrong on this chainsaw. But if you're that kind of person that doesn't mind that, you would appreciate that you're going to save over $1,000 by buying this saw, maybe more, then this saw is for you. Now, the caveat to that is they are still working out the fine details on these saws. We are giving them feedback on what we find, and hopefully those issues that we ran into will be rectified by the time these saws are available for the general public. So yeah, if you don't mind messing around with these things and doing a little bit of work if needed, I'd say go ahead and buy this saw. But if you're the kind of person that wants it right out of the box, no issues at all, guys, go by the factory. There's no replacing the factory. You know, they take the extra time and care and the quality to make sure that you have 0 issues when you get that saw. But you also pay for that. So I will say that this saw runs the best out of any clone chainsaw I have ever received, I've ever played with. It absolutely runs the best right out of the box. No other clone chainsaw can I say that about. I've had to adjust the carburetors on every single one of them. This thing runs right out of the box just perfect, and it's powerful, and I can't say enough good things about how that thing runs. So, all right guys, we'll catch you guys in the next video.